Imagine a country where you can drive for hours, not see a single person. No crowds, no noise, no cities, just endless land and silence. This is not a movie. This is real life in Mongolia. In most countries, you are never truly alone. There is always someone nearby, a car passing, a building in the distance, a city not too far away. But in Mongolia, it changes. Here, you can travel for hours and see nothing. No buildings, no crowds, no movement, just land. Endless land, the horizon stretches so far, it almost feels unreal. The silence is not just quiet, it is deep, heavy, and sometimes overwhelming. Unlike most of the modern world, life in Mongolia is not centered around cities. Yes, cities exist, but a large part of the population lives differently, away from urban life, away from crowded spaces. Instead of buildings, you find open land. Instead of apartments, you find traditional homes known as gers. These are not temporary shelters. They are homes. Families live in them, eat in them, sleep in them, and sometimes move with them. Because life here is not fixed. It is mobile. In many parts of Mongolia, people do not stay in one place forever. They move, not randomly, but with purpose, following seasons, weather, and the needs of their animals. This way of life has existed for generations. It is not new. It is not temporary. It is a system, a lifestyle, a tradition, and it continues even today. In most countries, cars dominate the roads, but in Mongolia, horses are still a part of daily life. Not just for tradition, but for survival, for movement, for connection. In fact, Mongolia is often described as a place where horses are everywhere. They are used to travel across long distances, to manage livestock, to navigate terrain where vehicles struggle. For many families, horses are not just animals. They are essential, a tool, a partner, and sometimes a lifeline. Life in Mongolia is not easy, especially when it too comes weather. Winters here are harsh. Temperatures can drop far below freezing. The wind becomes stronger, the land becomes colder, and survival becomes more difficult. In these conditions, daily life does not stop. People continue, they adapt, they prepare, they endure. Because in such an environment, there is no alternative. In most parts of the world, silence is rare. There is always noise, traffic, voices, movement. But in Mongolia, silence is normal, deep, constant. You can stand in one place and hear nothing. No cars, no crowds. No distractions, just wind and space. For some, this silence feels peaceful. For others, it feels overwhelming. Because when there is no noise outside, you begin to hear what is inside. Living in a place like Mongolia is not just a physical experience. It is psychological, the distance, the emptiness, the lack of constant interaction. All of it affects how a person thinks, feels, experiences life. For some, this brings clarity, focus, peace. For others, it can feel isolating, difficult, even challenging, because humans are used to connection. 2. Activity. 2. Constant input. And here, those things are limited. Despite all the challenges, life in Mongolia continues. Not in the way most people expect, but in its own way. A slower way, a simpler way. Less focused on speed, more focused on survival, on balance, on nature. This lifestyle may seem unusual, but for many, it is normal. Not everyone can live in a place like Mongolia, because this is not a lifestyle built on comfort. It is built on adaptation, on patience, on understanding nature. Here you cannot rely on constant convenience. There are no nearby stores in many areas, no quick access to everything, no fast-paced systems. Instead, life depends on preparation, on experience, on resilience, This environment demands something different from people, and not everyone is ready for that. There's one question that defines life in Mongolia. Is this freedom or isolation? On one hand, there is space. Unlimited space, no crowds, no pressure, no constant noise. A life that feels open, free. But on the other hand, there is distance, silence, separation, a lack of constant human interaction. And for many, that can feel isolating. The answer is not simple, because it depends on the person. Some see freedom, others see loneliness, and some see both. For many visitors, Mongolia does not feel like a typical country. It feels different, almost unreal, because modern life has trained us to expect constant noise, constant movement, constant connection. And here, those things disappear. What remains is space, silence, nature, and time. Time that moves slower, time that feels different. And that difference creates a powerful experience. Mongolia is not just another place on the map. It is a completely different way of living. A place where life is not controlled by speed, but by nature, where silence is not uncomfortable, but normal. Where space is not empty, but meaningful. It is not easy. It is not for everyone, but it is real. And in a world that is constantly moving faster, places like this remind us of something important, that life does not always have to be loud to be meaningful.